Good morning. Hello, everyone. Namaste. I'm Sunita Koppar. We are starting the third cohort of Kaushalavardhanam, which is essentially upskilling. And we'll go through a round of quick introductions and then we'll see what is it that we are here gathered to accomplish. We have four mentors in this cohort, and we'll go through a topic like an introduction of all four of us, and we'll also discuss what do we mean by a cohort, how do we conduct it, and then what is it that we are specifically planning to pick or give you a choice of for cohort 3. I'm Sunita Koppar. I reside in Los Angeles. I currently work at AWS, and I've been in the industry for 20 years or so. And I am passionate about Sanskrit. I teach students, little kids as well. So I'm trying to connect the dots, use my practical experience with my passion. That's about me. I hand it off to Ganesh Jayaraman, who's joined us since the beginning, and he's acted as a product owner and built a project. And over to you.
Thank you, Sunita ji. Namaste. And as Sunita ji mentioned, I am a volunteer product owner, project manager for Kaushalavardhanam. My full name is Ganesh Jayaraman. I am based in North Carolina. And through a joint effort with Sheridan College, we have been exploring the idea of gamifying Sanskrit learning. And we have produced several games that are essentially reinforcing Sanskrit learning, but also making it in a gamified way. So Kaushalavardhanam is a complementary to that effort, and we have had success in past cohorts where projects that have been sponsored by some of our sponsors here have been executed, and we are excited for beginning of cohort 3.
So I'll go on now to Krishnan. Krishnanji, can you explain, give us an intro and give us a little bit about what we did, cohort 3 that you led. Over to you.
Yeah, hello. My name is Krishnan. I'm currently based in Luxembourg in Europe. So I was introduced to Kaushalavardhanam through a friend. And during the last cohort, I was helping a bunch of students to work on an idea that I have been working on to explore how more deeper feedback can be given for somebody when they are learning a language and their pronunciation of early words and sentences, small sentences. So for that, we were exploring the use of an audio research pronunciation algorithms, and this is what was the fundamental idea. But I'm still doing sort of developing a few tools to learn the local language in Luxembourgish. And when I was learning the language, I was exploring different things, and I was remembering my time of learning Sanskrit through the Sanskrit Bharati's Sambhashan Shibiram. And so through that idea of focusing on speaking, focusing on listening, I was thinking that maybe pronunciation could be an opportunity that we can work towards. And while we focused on developing it for Luxembourgish, the idea was that we could also do the same thing for Sanskrit because we already have certain base pronunciation words developed by a team. So that was the main idea. So what we ended up having was a small prototype with the front end, back end, and we kind of came to a place where there were issues with the algorithmic ability to assess the speech, but most likely because of difficulty to record the sound properly. And so, but the idea, I will be taking it further, and it will be an interesting possibility to also explore that with a specific Sanskrit database as well. So that's what we did, and there was the team of I think 4 people who were working on this, and they were able to make interesting progress. With we mostly worked with the front end of Fast API. Sorry, the backend with Fast API and Python, and the front end with JavaScript and React. And that was a basic setup that we were able to work with, and it was a good experiment, and we made a good progress. And I think that's one potentially problem we can explore if there is an interest in this cohort as well.
Thank you so much. And I would like to welcome Shiva Tewari. Did I say your name right?
Yeah, that's approximately fine. Thank you.
Okay, well, maybe you should start there. Tell us how to say your name. And we are so excited to have you. We went through some of the projects that you're planning to have, and yeah, please go ahead, introduce yourself, and later we'll also get to the details of what are the project options, and what can we look for students with cohort 3. I just want to add one thing, like for you, since it's the first time, what we generally mean by cohorts here is we announce a project, and then we ask students to suggest, like, or rather volunteer to say if they would want to participate in it. Generally, it goes on for 6 to 8 weeks, could go on to 12 weeks. And if the idea sticks, and if students want to participate further, then they can keep contributing to it. Usually it is open source. And having said that, I would also want to go on to next slide and come back here for your introduction, so you have an idea of what we are trying to do. We are, as you know, group of enthusiasts. We have been in the industry, some have been in the academia. What we noticed as we went across and sharing our experiences, students were feeling a little kind of not sure where to start. Some students, like this started with Sheridan College, and similar story elsewhere as well that I was giving lectures at. Students were expected to have internship, and they needed to have or show some real world experience. Without actually doing it, they wouldn't get a job, and without a job, they wouldn't get the experience. So they were kind of stuck in that vicious cycle. So the idea was we could give them a project, the projects that we care about, that we would want to implement, mentor them so they can build those projects. And these projects would typically be open source. We are not doing anything commercial here, and they would be geared towards addressing something that is kind of for social good. So that is the idea. That's how we kind of filter our projects. But then it could be something that is another passion project for anybody else as well. But most of us here are working towards something that we believe in a cause. So having said that, I would hand it back to you, and please tell us about yourself, and we'll I can't click my slide properly. Yes, over to you, Shivaji.
Yeah, I think we have a slide. I think we can go over there.
There directly? Okay.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. My name is Shiva Tewari. I'm a computational physiologist by profession. I have about 16 years post-PhD experience across academia, government, and industry. This work that you are looking at the screen, it was done during my part-time because of my passion towards ancient DNA, human evolution, and philology. And I'm basically interested in where we come from, who we are. And so this is just some part-time work which I started when I started reading the translations of Rig Vedas and Atharvavedas from Western scholars, and I found some issues with the translations that could have been their own bias or not being able to understand what the Indian culture is. So I thought, because I work with AI and machine learning, why not we use the same knowledge to be able to create an unbiased, quote unquote, platform that can translate Sanskrit texts that are hidden, locked down. Nobody reads them because we can't understand them. The Vedic Sanskrit happens to be more complicated than our routine Sanskrit that we may have read in our school days. So the idea was, here to use an LLM, a machine learning algorithm that can answer, give you replies, understand what the corpus has using only English-based responses, like natural language prompts that can help you retrieve what the Sanskrit text entails. And on top of that, what I build, I work with knowledge graphs. So I've also built in a mechanism that allows connecting the dots that exist in the corpus. For example, later texts like Puranas, they mention genealogy of who was the ancestor of what. That's coming from somewhere, right? And all those sages, they have read all those texts. But here, what I did, and to show you as a proof of concept, what I found is that you can basically construct the genealogy of Lord Rama, for example, based on just the Vedas without having access to Puranas. So it just tells you that the system works.
You're looking at the webpage of Vedic Sanskrit resource. This is an agentic RAG built by embedding Sanskrit documents in a quadrant cloud collection. This RAG allows query of Sanskrit literature, Rig Vedas, Atharva Vedas, Brahmanas, using English queries to a user. This agentic RAG makes use of knowledge graphs to create genealogies and understand the flora, fauna of the Vedic period. What I would like your help here is to test out the Devanagari input feature of the RAG. This RAG presently is working on my personal Gemini API key, but it also supports Olama language models, local, so you can run them locally as well as Grok, which provides a free tier of LLM access. The Devanagari input feature presently works via a gazetteer method. What that does is in the corpus we have identified some key characters and places, and based on that we expand a user's query. So you can check here Sudas kaun hai, who is Sudas, and the RAG is able to provide cited responses very well. However, what we need to establish is how good this gazetteer method is. So that will be one of the tasks. Then secondly, the most important one I would say, and I don't expect you to complete that in 3 months time, is having a Devanagari knowledge graph. The knowledge graph presently is English language based, but we would like it to be able to have a corpus of Devanagari knowledge graph itself. Then thirdly, we would like to be able to have normalization of queries in the RAG. What I mean is, for example, when people will be entering Devanagari inputs, we would like it to be normalized. For example, if somebody is typing Sudase, that should be normalized to Sudas, and so on. So ultimately, we would like you to work on either track A, that will be building a Devanagari knowledge graph, or improving the robust Devanagari retrieval. And we expect it to be complete in the 12-week period. You can take a look at the Devanagari cohort plan on the Vedic Sanskrit resource Git that is available in the Kaushalavardhanam page as well. Happy to take any calls if you want to be able to learn more about the project. Thank you.
I have many other projects similar to this. I mean, we can improve on the Vedic Sanskrit resource. It's available at the Streamlit app on the bottom of the slide. You can go and explore the code base if you want. I'll be happy to, and Sunita ji, you can share my contact info with anyone who's interested to work on similar projects. And I think I'll stop here and answer any questions if you guys have, or we can carry on with the agenda. Yeah.
Where are you residing?
I'm sorry. I'm based in Maryland, Gaithersburg. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you so much. And I have a project that I was planning to introduce as well, and that is the GitHub link. So we have this Reachy, which is a mini robot, a small robot which only can do gestures and speak. The idea with this is Mitra. Mitra is Sambodhana Vibhakti, which is like, how do you address a person? I'm sure everybody here is a pro. For those who are listening to this online, it just means a friend. So what we are thinking of doing is have this mini robot be able to converse in Sanskrit, and the idea is to take it to students, where students can get excited about the language, because talking to a robot in a language that they would want to learn will inspire them. That's the idea. So I have some base code, seed code that I already have. Like, this is what typically I do as well. Like, if we are coming up with an idea which is brand new, like fresh, it's just a goal that we have, then I work through to have some seed code ready, so at least we can do feasibility study. So that's what this is. I ran this with a local simulation as well, and that code that's there in the repository does have a simulation too, so you don't have to buy the robot to test it out. The simulation will do quick tests for you. And I do have a challenge right now that I'm still not done with, which is essentially it's not recognizing the voice, like it's not able to pick the sounds. Like, it'll get the wake up word, I call it hey Mitra, it gets activated. I can see that in the logs, but it's not continuing beyond that. So there is some work to be done, and I would love to see if students would want to take this up and continue working with me on this. So that's on this project. You already must have had an idea to had a chance to pick.
Once you scan the QR code that you see in the presentation, this is where you will land. This is the README that you can take a look on your own. It's basically showing you the architecture and also explains the elements. There is good documentation available here, which kind of tells you everything you need to know if you're new to AI as well, and explains it in a very beginner friendly way. Let's understand the architecture. I'll skip option B for now, because what we'll be able to test on our own laptops is option A. The only difference between the two is, where is your inferencing model? So if it's hosted on cloud, you would be using option B. Since we are using option A, because we are using it hosted on our laptops, I'll be going through this. So what essentially we are going to do is, we will be using Reachy Mini Lite as a robot. Right now we are using a simulator, so anybody using this repo can do it yourself. As the user speaks, this Reachy Mini Lite daemon, it gets activated. It has microphones and camera, as well as speaker and head motors. The simulation also has all these properties, and the real device also comes with these. When a user speaks, there is this wake detector that keeps checking for, it's like a small program that runs and checks if there was a voice. And there is a segmenter which chops them into decent, like, begin end sentences, and using Whisper ASR you kind of trigger the orchestrator. The orchestrator hands the incoming request to a Strands agent. Strands agent is a Python library which helps you write agents, and there is more documentation and other videos available just for this, so we can take a look at that separately. Now, agent is nothing but an LLM and some tools. So what are the tools? The tools are, there is a capture image, there is speak Sanskrit, there is nod. These are the three major ones that we'll use. There are some more as well. So with these tools and the LLM that we have downloaded, so we are using OLama, which is a local serving mechanism which will serve the model, and the model that we are going to use is Cohort3 VL model, which means it has vision capabilities too. Based on the incoming request, Strands hands over, like kind of channelizes and invokes the LLM. It's basically an orchestration layer, so you will make the request come to OLama. Olama then, based on what's asked, decides what needs to be done. Like if there is a requirement to see the vision, like look at what's being presented, there is a capture image that's triggered, and that comes back. So the back channel for this, or the response channel, is to use Indic Parlor TTS, which converts again whatever response is coming from Quen into speech, so that it is audible to you by speech. Now this is the initial architecture that we are starting with. It is a bit jittery, doesn't work 100%, plus the fact that we are using simulator can add to the problems. I'll show you the steps that we will follow, and we'll also test it out right now. So if you see what is the setup that's required, the README also shows you that. You clone this repository, log into this directory, set up your Python environment. You should be installing the simulator that we're talking about, and you would start the simulation robot. There are 3 simple steps if we go further down, which will tell you exactly how the process would be for you to just test it out. Once you clone the repository, just get here. This is the first command you will run, which opens up or launches the simulator. In the second terminal, make sure you have Olama ready and serving the model that we want. And in the third command or third terminal is where we will actually run the program. Now let's do this, and let me open the code. So this is my, now let me close this. This is my simulator. I'm starting the simulator, and once this launches, you can see that's a cute simulator available for us. It's ready and listening on port 8000. Now let's go back and start the main program. I'm going to minimize this so you can see it as it works through. I'm going to start this, and once it says waiting for the wake up word, I'm going to say hey Mitra. That is the wake up sound. Mitra means a friend, so we are using that word here. And let's get this up. You can see where the model is from. It's showing you that, and it's warming up for the ASR. It's connecting, and it says Mitra asleep, say the wake word. So I'm going to say hey Mitra. Hey Mitra. Hey Mitra. Okay, so that's the accent problem.
Namaste.
Kathamasti. So it did read in my response as well. Kathamasti, it's kind of trying to do some transliteration. Kathamasti.
Namaste Mitra, Katham Asmi.
Okay, so that's good for now, and you will see that there are a lot of jitters. It's not doing everything we want, but we have something to get started with.
The GitHub, and let's see what we did in the earlier cohorts, just to give a refresher. And these projects also you can continue if you would want to build. I'll hand it over to Ganesh to give a quick intro to what was done in cohort 1. I don't know if there is a slide here, but let's see. Was it this? No, this is second one. Anything that you want me to pause on? Maybe this one? You're on mute.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think if you just go back to the slide 4, or was it? Yeah.
This one?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the project that was done by the previous cohort for under Dr. Krishnan's sponsorship. We did do some work after the fact on this. I had the student that was working on this added to this group, but he's not here. But there are several more features on this project that we need to work on. So there is definitely scope to work on the speaking buddy and enhance it and make it more of a full-fledged full-fledged app. During the summer, this other student that I'm working with, he ported the logic from the Luxembourgish to the Sanskrit. So we have a Sanskrit equivalent of the speaking buddy, and I was hoping that we could also add that in scope. So we could basically have a language project for two languages in the cohort. And then if you go to the next slide, this is all the so this is still the features for the speaking buddy, but there is a slide which has all the projects and areas that we have covered. Let me see if I can find that. I think it's a slide 8, Bhagini. We go back to slide 8.
Okay.
So slide 8 is basically is our running list of projects. The most active is the first one, the gamification project. So through my efforts with the Sheridan College in Toronto, every semester we have 1 or 2 cohorts, and we have been building up several games. And Jatam is our overall portal. So we have this cohort, we have done quite a bit of work using AI based development, as well as incorporating a framework that lets us really revamp the UI. So we have a Jatam 2.0 that looks almost like a professional gamification site, and there have been several games that have been developed and incorporated there. So there is more work to be done in that area. So that is always there. But the college cohort generally get first preference over that. But in addition to that, we have several other areas like data analysis and basic machine learning, as well as doing something with the AI, with the LLMs, SLM, or even other more frontier ideas like tokenizing using blockchain. So the ideas keep coming. We keep a list here. Not everything is worked on, but if there is interest and there are sufficient people to form a small group of maybe 3 to 5, we can definitely pick up any of these projects and make it into a regular project cycle.
Perfect. Thank you. And we also would like to share like what we generally do. How do we enable students who are participating? So we have our YouTube channel as well, where you can go in and listen to the prior recordings. So I would like to share one such session. Like we had agentic development. How do we do that? One of the frameworks I picked Strands because I know most about it. So we go through how can you develop agents in real world, and this learning is what you can apply to the projects that you'll be working on, and that kind of gives you some idea about it gives you the knowledge that you need to actually work on the projects. So if any of you watching the video feels like I do not have enough awareness to actually help with any of these projects, that is something that we're here to enable you for as well. So I'd like to stop here, and anybody wants to add anything after this, we can go back to stopping the recording and continue our discussion on how we want to proceed next. These are some topics that were expressed as having interest, like students came back to us saying we would like to learn about these, and that's why we had the list, and if the project demanded it, the plan was to go in and present some of these, and that's what we did for some relevant topics for the earlier cohorts. Anything that you would want to learn, if it's fitting into any of the project that's being discussed with the mentors here, we'll pick and present depending on who's leading it. We'll have presentations to share knowledge about that as well. So I'll pause, and I would love to hear from any of you. Would you want to add anything before I stop the recording?
Yeah, no, I think this is good. Let's make sure the link is accessible to everyone, and other than that, I think everything is here. This is the one document that we keep everything in. So this will open up the keys to anything that we discuss here.
And thank you. I'd like to also thank Harsh Thakkar Mohdya, who's been bringing students and who's been the faculty. That is where this started for the game show specifically. I'd also like to thank Pradeep ji. I don't get his last name still. Yeah. So thank you, Pradeep, for not only being there for Pictionary, which was part of Cohort 1, but also bringing in mentors for us who shares our passion. He's not always there during the session, but he always makes sure he supports us. So let me pause the recording at this time, and we'll come back to the discussion. And that's